obviously a much better feeling for you this week. That was a pretty dominant, complete performance.
Yeah, they were happy last week. I mean, after quarter time, it was it's really hard games to win for footy, and so we were pretty happy to win last week. We thought that Essendon's form was pretty solid last week, and we got off to a slow start, but we were able to get on top after that. And this week we just thought it was a very good four-quarter performance, and we were able to keep the pressure on Port Adelaide to win in Port Adelaide on their home ground, and such a big crowd, and keep them to 44 points was a real positive, and we're really happy with that.
What do you make of GWS? They've had a really great start to the season. Are you thinking this could be one of the tightest derbies so far?
Oh, we've been saying for a few years they're an incredibly talented list. I mean, one of the more talented lists you've seen assembled in AFL football, and they've got the experience of some players that have been playing at other clubs at their club now, and they've also a really hard-working team. They compete fiercely, and they run extremely hard, and anyone that saw that third quarter on the weekend saw them at their best as far as what damage they can do. Their midfield group's incredible. They work hard. They've got players like Ward and Mumford and others that are really tough, but their younger kids have learnt the game that way as well. So they're a really challenging team, and we'll have to be really good this week to make sure that we compete well against them.
John, just wanted to ask you about Goodsy. Started sub on the weekend. Is that something we should expect to see more of in the future?
Oh yeah, that'll happen at different times, but I don't think that's any surprise. I mean, he's been in our best 22 for the last 2 weeks, and we've had 2 good wins, so that's been a good sign. But whatever role that Adam's asked to play, he plays it, and he's understanding of that. But I don't think it's any surprise that he'll be starting at sub at different times throughout the year.
Jude Bolton said maybe he's gone on a year too long. I mean, they played 300 games together, so he's obviously a pretty good judge. What do you think about what Jude said?
Jude might have a short memory too. People were saying that after 2012 about him as well, but he went in 2013 and played a lot of football in 2013. So I think it's round 2, and he's been a part of our team for the first 2 weeks, and whether it's sub role or not playing every week, I mean, that'll evolve as the course of the season evolves, but we're not focused on that too much at the moment.
Is everything up to scratch with him at the moment, fitness-wise?
Yeah, he's been good. Yep.
GWS beat you early on last year. Will you remind the players what it felt like to lose to the team across the city?
No, I don't think we have to worry about reminding the players about that.
But you want to be number 1 in town, right? So you're keen not to lose to them again, obviously.
Just want to play well. Just want to play well.
Pressure against Port was amazing, as you said. Lance Franklin and Kurt Tippett laid 8 tackles apiece, 2 big key forwards. That's an amazing stat.
Yeah, it is. I mean, to have your 2 key forwards leading the way with their pressure when the opposition have got the ball is a good indicator. We constantly talk internally about it's not about possessions or goals. It's even though they're always important, it's about your application when the opposition's got the ball, and that's first and foremost in all of our players' minds. And when you've got 2 of your key forwards leading the way and putting pressure on, and that first line of defence when the opposition have got the ball is very helpful, and being able to show the younger players the way in that regard's terrific as well.
Those 2 in particular, do you think they get enough credit for? Because the chase the week before from Buddy was highlighted, saved you a goal and probably inspired a bit of that comeback. Do they get the credit they deserve?
Well, it doesn't. I mean, we don't pay much attention to whether they get the credit they deserve or not. It gets recognised internally, and there's no doubt that their efforts over the last couple of weeks, those boys, but also others in the defensive aspects of the game have been really important. We thought all of our players on the weekend played a really strong defensive game, and it's probably something, in particular with Lance kicking 2 or 3 goals a week, but putting on that enormous pressure, he's been super at that the first couple of weeks.
John, saw obviously Tippett's playing a lot in the ruck. We saw Sam Reid in defence a little bit on the weekend. I mean, the versatility of those forwards, is that something you've looked to sort of improve this year?
Yeah, it has. We made sure we're going to keep evolving. We have evolved more numbers through our midfield last year, and we were really keen on that and expanding our midfield group, and we wanted to keep evolving and increasing that flexibility this year, and we were quite open over the pre-season about playing Kurt in the ruck more and playing Sam Reid down back, and they've been able to do those roles as well as others pretty well, and we'll continue to do that. As the year progresses, we'll make sure that our teams continues to be flexible and make sure at any particular point in time or any particular game in time we have the right setup that gives us the best chance of winning. And and we'll continue to do that.
Is Kurt's body going to hold up playing that dual role?
Oh, it's held up pretty well so far. I mean, we're round 2 and he's feeling pretty good. The Pikeys actually on the weekend played a pretty good role in the ruck as well against 2 quality ruckmen in Port Adelaide. But those boys will have their work cut out this week. The big mummy's in pretty good form and charging round in good nick, so they'll be challenged this week.
Is Ben McGlynn a chance to play?
Look, he got through the game really well, so that's a good sign. So he'd be a chance. But we haven't had that meeting yet, and that'll evolve later on in the week.
Not to harp on Goodsy, but you said we're likely to see him start off the bench a few times this season. Is this weekend another one of those times you might use him off the bench?
Oh, look, I don't know at this point, but I don't think there's any surprises with that. That he's not going to play every minute of every game. I don't think anyone's too shocked about that with Adam Goods. If we were thinking about getting the best out of him and the best role for the team, we'll make that decision as we see fit. But Adams, we thought on the weekend could have come on and played a similar role to what Jake Lloyd did the week before and given us some real impact off the bench. It just so turned out that it was probably 15 minutes into the last quarter when we had the game on our terms that we brought him on. But I'm sure if he was required to come on a bit earlier, he might have impacted. And so it just depends week to week what we need. But given that, we still understand that training every day of pre-season and playing every minute of every game is not going to happen with him. I think it's just a smart way to use him and manage him throughout the year. So
is this his understanding going into the season, going another year, that this might be a year where he plays sub a bit more and doesn't play every game?
Yeah, but I don't think it's any surprise. I mean, the first 2 weeks he's been in our best 22 and we've had 2 good wins. So I think he's been a part of that mix over the first 2 weeks and done okay. We're round 2. There's still a fair bit of the season to go yet.